Okay, we've got another completing the square question where we've been asked to transform 8x minus x squared and complete the square so that it transforms into an expression with p and q as here. The main problem with this function as it stands is the minus sign here. I need to take -1 out as a factor. So the first job is to say this is equal to negative x squared negative 8x. So now let's start the completing square process. My x minus q squared bracket will look like this. It'll have an x here. It will have -4 here because I take that -8 and halve it. And I'm not going to forget the negative sign out the front. So now with that there, this is not completed, by the way, because we've got to do some extra work. Let's find out what x minus 4 all squared creates. X minus 4 multiplied by x minus 4 will give us, remember we've got to do all the multiplications. The first one, x squared. Well, that's what we want. Underneath we get -x4 and another -x4. So this is -8x. Again, that's what we wanted to produce. But the second eyebrow here will generate plus 16. So this expression will produce 16 that we don't want. I've put a square bracket there because I'm going to take away that 16 that the x minus 4 squared will produce, and we don't want it. So putting that -16 there will redress the balance and immediately remove the positive 16 that this expression produces. So taking the square bracket away, I get -x minus 4 squared plus 16. So therefore I can say that p is equal to 16 and q is equal to 4. And that's the answer to part A. Now let's have a look at part B. I think they start off with a fairly obvious statement in that 8x minus x squared has a maximum value. Because we've got a negative sign in front of the x, this is an n-shaped quadratic. And indeed, it has a maximum value. And it says find the maximum value. Well, that's quite difficult to do in its old format, but we've completed the square. Our function is now equal to 16 minus x minus 4 squared. Have a look at this term. When I square a number, it's determined to be positive. If inside this bracket turns out to be -5, when x is -1, -5 times -5 will be positive 25. And if the number inside this bracket is 5 squared, yes, this will also be 25. When is it neither positive or negative? Well, it is when that bracket is 0. When is that bracket 0? Well, that bracket is 0 when x equals 4. At all other points than x equals 4, the bracket itself will be positive. But we've got a negative sign outside, which pulls the value of 16 down. So effectively, including the negative sign, this whole term is determined to be negative. The only time it is not negative is when x is equal to 4, when the whole thing just turns to 0, which means that the maximum value of our function is 16. And that's your answer to the first part of part B. Now the second part, state the value of x for which this maximum value occurs. Well, we've already worked that out. The maximum occurs when this whole term goes to 0, and that happens when x equals 4. And that's the answer to the second part of part B.